to the No Spin News, Monday, July 5th, 2024. Stand up for your country. Well, most of the program tonight will be devoted to the repercussions of the Trump shooting in Pennsylvania, but there are a couple of headlines I want to tell you about. First, Donald Trump is expected to name his vice president tonight after we finish taping. I will be on it. I will be on News Nation this evening discussing it. I will tweet immediately when the name is announced at Bill O'Reilly if you want to get on our tweet band. And millions are on it, so you might want to join at Bill O'Reilly. Right now, Vance is still in play, the senator from Ohio. The governor of North Dakota, Burgum. And I'm hearing little rumblings about Youngkin, the governor of Virginia. I don't know about Marco Rubio's status, but I don't know. So I'm not even going to guess. And believe me when I tell you that Donald Trump has kept this locked down, he's the only one who knows. Because I have great contacts. Nobody knows. But it'll be announced tonight. Also, a federal judge in Florida has thrown out the Mar-a-Lago document case against Trump, citing a law that says the Justice Department did not follow procedure in appointing special counsel Jack Smith. Okay, but what this really is about is the federal judge in Florida saying, look, I believe the fix is in. Biden beat his rap, not because he didn't do it, he did. He had top secret documents in his garage next to the Corvette and a lot of other places that he wasn't entitled to have. Okay, everybody knows that. But the special counsel, Robert Hur, wouldn't indict him because Hur said he was too old or something like that. So the judge in Florida said, look, this whole thing is a fiasco. So I'm going to throw it out on procedure. That's what she did. Tomorrow, I'm going to have Brett Tallman on because this is a wider question now. There's so much corruption in the Justice Department of the United States. It's like off the chart. This is like the administration of Warren Harding. I know you don't know that, but you will when you read Confronting the Presidents. This is insane, how much corruption there is in the Justice Department. This judge knows that. So she just booted the case. Will it be refiled? Probably not. So Trump's got a free sale now until November. All right, let's take a look at the shooting. Number one, we did a special program on Saturday night. Millions of people all over the world. I think the number I got this morning was approaching 4 million, which is what the network news does, and it's more than the cable news, have watched that special report. You can see it on BillO'Reilly.com. Free. Available for everybody. Okay, so we established a baseline on Saturday night, and now we are going to advance the story. Unlike the other television news agencies that don't know how to cover this. So first, the basics. You need to know the basics. The shooting took place on Saturday, July 13th at 6:11 Eastern Time. Okay? It took place at the Butler Farm Show grounds. That's on Evans City Road, 5 miles from the town of Butler, 30 miles north of Pittsburgh. The assassin is Thomas Matthew Crooks. He was killed by Secret Service snipers. 20 years old, lived in a suburb of Butler, Bethel Park, 40 miles away. The guy, from what I understand, was emotionally disturbed. There's no other big motive, but they're looking at it. There's no conspiracy. There's none of that. Okay? If you look at all the attempted assassinations and successful assassinations, it usually comes down to one mentally or emotionally ill individual. Lincoln is an exception. John Wilkes Booth was a fanatical Confederate. But Garfield and McKinley and JFK, all crazy people do it. And I think this guy falls into that category. But the investigation continues, as I said 45,000 times. Now, Donald Trump was a quarter inch away from being killed. So when Ronald Reagan, another nut shot Reagan, if you wrote Killing Reagan, we go over everything about it. Ronald Reagan was shot. He escaped death by about 2 inches. Donald Trump was a quarter of an inch. Hit him, as you know, in the ear. If it hit him in the forehead, dead. Or in the eye, he's dead. And unfortunately, there were 3 bystanders hit with gunfire. One of them died, the fire chief. And you all know about that now. And the 2 others are in stable condition, I understand, at this point. I mean, you know, this kind of evil, and it's evil, even if you're emotionally disturbed, you're committing an evil act. It's off the chart. So the repercussions of this are many. The first one is Donald Trump himself. So I understand. I have not talked to the president. I did send him a note, but I have not talked to him. Donald Trump now has changed his entire speech that he's going to give Thursday night in Milwaukee at the convention. And from what I understand, because I do know the speechwriters involved, it's taking on a much more conciliatory tone. That doesn't mean that Trump is backing away from his assertion that the Biden administration is harming America. All right? That's what Trump will campaign on. And in my opinion, that is true. And the Biden people have an absolute right to campaign on Donald Trump. Actions in the past were irresponsible, so he does not deserve to be president again. Both sides have an obligation, I think, to tell the American people what they believe and why they believe it. What they can't do any longer is personal attacks. And we'll give you plenty of examples coming up on that. So the repercussions of this already have changed history. So Trump, who's in Milwaukee now, is going to give a different speech than he would have. Right? That's number one. I'm hoping to get an advanced copy of that speech. You got to stay with us all week. And not just on the No Spin News, at radio and TV, but on the website. Because I'm going to be, updating every hour on the hour here. So the number one reprieve is Joe Biden. So I had a column that was set to drop Sunday morning that I had to pull back. And the column was on where Joe Biden was inside the Democratic Party. I'm going to post that column tomorrow on BillO'Reilly.com in the message of the day slot. Where do you see this? That's all stalled now. You can't do politics in the middle of an attempted assassination of a prior president of the United States. You can't. So that's all stopped. But Biden is not out of jeopardy. The most powerful people inside the Democratic Party want him out. And something else will happen. I'll get into that later. So, but for the time being, maybe a week or 2, Biden gets a breather. And he was real close to getting booted. And if you read the column, I tell you exactly how that was going to come down. So that column is posted tomorrow morning. Both candidates have an obligation now that they didn't have Friday. They have a new obligation. Both men have to admit they've made mistakes, rhetorical mistakes, because they both have. Now, neither Biden nor Trump has ever admitted a mistake, as far as we can find, ever. That's just a fact. Neither man admits mistakes. Okay? Now they should. If Donald Trump gets up there Thursday and says, look, I know I've been gone overboard sometimes, and I'm going to really try not to do that anymore, he wins. Because Biden's not going to do that. And Trump does it, he wins. That's how strong that would be, that message to the American people. So both have an obligation now to say, all right, we're the leaders, and we're going to pull back from these personal attacks. We're going to do that. I hope they both do. I really, it's fine for Biden to call Trump and for them to this and we can't have this in America and blah, 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 blah. Lead. That's what I'm asking. Lead. You both have gone overboard in the past. Everybody knows that. Okay. Logistics. Head of the Secret Service, Kimberly Cheadle, gone. All right. She works for Biden directly. Secret Service is controlled by the executive branch. She's out because the security at the Trump event in Butler was terrible. There's no excuse for it. It was terrible. So Ms. Cheadle will resign. The Secret Service personnel on the site who designed that security, they're done. Okay, so there's going to be casualties inside the Secret Service. Has to happen. There's no excuse. All right, you don't not secure a building with a line of sight to a presidential candidate. You just don't. And they didn't secure the building. Sorry, you're out. Now, there are conspiracy reports the Secret Service wanted this to happen. Anybody saying that is just vile. I'll deal with it if I have to, but we don't report that garbage. All right? But anybody who thinks that the Secret Service allowed that to happen, you're disturbed. Okay, RFK Jr. Biden will not give RFK Jr., despite the fact that his father was assassinated and his uncle was assassinated, Secret Service protection. Why? Because Biden doesn't like him. Here's what RFK Jr. said. Go.
However, President Biden has made the historic decision to deny me a Secret Service detail. I'm the only one in history whose request has ever been denied. I don't spend time worrying about my personal safety, but I do worry about the safety of my family and their sense of well-being.
So now RFK Jr. will get Secret Service protection. Biden will have to give it to him. The fact that Biden didn't give it to him before is just, what can I say? All right. Morning Joe. So one of the hallmarks of our special on Saturday night, which again, approaching 4 million views, was that corporations pay for hate. The hate brigades make money. And MSNBC is the biggest hateful media in the country, perhaps the world. And everybody knows it. That's beyond dispute. They're haters. And we ran down all the sound bites of all the haters on MSNBC on Saturday, and you can see it. Well, today, NBC pulled off the air Morning Joe. Now, whether that was a direct response to what I did, I don't know. But believe me, I know that Comcast, Brian Roberts is the CEO, they got my message. So they pulled Morning Joe off the air. Now, Morning Joe himself, Joe Scarborough, and his wife, Brzezinski, would not be safe in Milwaukee because there are nuts on the other side, too. But they pulled Morning Joe off the air. Why did they do it? Because here's what Scarborough traffics in, and here's what NBC News pays him to say. Go.
So maybe he didn't read Mein Kampf, but he kept a collection of Hitler's speeches by his bed, according to his first wife, in a Vanity Fair article. Oh. And you can hear it in his words. You can see it at his rallies. That's exactly the direction he's going. He's going doubling, tripling down on fascist Hitler-like rhetoric.
He gets paid for that. He gets paid millions of dollars to say garbage like that. So Comcast is responsible for that. All right? I worked in Fox News for more than 20 years. We had some people who were over the top. Not many, but some. But over the years, that diminished. Then it was a camaraderie between liberals and conservatives on Fox. Sometimes it got heated, but it was never a pattern of behavior, and it's not to this day. All right, Fox News, they are a traditional network, lean conservative, but they're not too much invective personal stuff. Gutfeld brings it up to the line, but he's a satirist, you know, that kind of stuff. That's what Colbert traffics in, and Colbert goes, oh, I'm a satellite comedian. Okay. But Fox News doesn't pay for hate. MSNBC does. All right? That's the difference. So you know. Disney pays for hate, too, and I'll get to that in a moment. Everything is expensive these days, you know that. The government is printing trillions of dollars and consumer prices higher than ever. If the government continues its printing and spending, the dollar could continue its free fall and lose its coveted role as the world reserve currency. Let's hope that doesn't happen. But there are a few things you can do right now. American Hartford Gold can show you how to protect your money, your retirement, your hard-earned savings against inflation by helping you diversify a portion of your portfolio into physical gold and silver. Start with a short phone call, and they can have physical gold and silver delivered right to your door or put inside your 401k or IRA. So please call or text them right now. Tell them Bill O'Reilly sent you. Call 877-444-GOLD, 877-444-GOLD, or text GOLD to 65532. Again, that's 877-444-GOLD, or text GOLD to 65532. Let's go to the mail. Get a lot of it. Bill@BillO'Reilly.com, Bill@BillO'Reilly.com, from anywhere in the world. You got to put your name in town. Got to know you're a real person. All right, Carol, concierge member. Carol gets direct access to me. We had hundreds of people sign up for concierge membership over the weekend. We hope you consider it. Thank you, Bill, for reporting on Saturday. I needed to hear your calming voice of reason. I am very angry, and I don't blame you. I don't blame you at all. And Bob, a concierge member, you're right, Bill. It's time to stop the hate speech. It only triggers the crazies into violent acts. Janet, I agree there is so much hatred and anger and vitriol on talk shows, late night, actors, actresses, social media. People just go for the jugular. A house divided itself cannot stand. And that is a quote from Abraham Lincoln. Thomas, Indiana, I'm not going to tell you his last name because I'm going to scold him. O'Reilly, why do you always find it necessary to say on both sides when talking about hate spewed out? We can see that this kind of hate all comes from the left. You live in a world of your own, Tom. You're not in a real world. I just proved it. I could have run that clip for 10 minutes with different people. 6-1, the left is more hateful, and we've calibrated this, than the right in the media circles, including social media. But the right's got a presence there. John Tucker, Omaha, Nebraska. Would President Biden's Oval Office speech have been more effective had he acknowledged that he was guilty of the negative rhetoric as well? Of course. Of course it would, just like I said up top. But Trump, too. Jonathan Rousseau, Marietta, California. President Biden should unite the country and invite President Trump to the White House to show solidarity. That's not going to happen. There's just too much bad blood there between the two men. Charles DePrima, Staten Island, New York. If the assassination of President Trump was successful, who would be the Republican nominee? If Donald Trump had been killed, and remember, it's a quarter of an inch, then the convention would have selected the nominee. The delegates and superdelegates, all right, names would have been nominated. They would have voted, and the convention would have selected someone. That's how it goes down according to our Constitution. Great. As usual, you brought in the bigger picture, O'Reilly. I gave up on CNN, MSNBC, and Disney a long time ago. They don't do factual. Yeah, some of them do. But the chieftains who run the corporations are paying for far too much hate. Got to hold those people accountable. Janice McEwen, Rockville, Missouri. Sorry, Janice. Excellent reporting, Bill, on the hate issue and naming the corporations and individuals who do it. I only watch you. I'm glad you are leading the crusade. Somebody has to do it. I know I'm going to take heat, by the way. I know it. It's okay. We're ready. Harold Levine, Blue Ridge, Georgia. Just watched your special report about the attempted assassination of President Trump. That was the finest piece of television I've seen in my 83 years. Well, I appreciate that very much, Harold. Thank you. Means a lot. Maddie Nopweski, Corona, California. Bill, you have a gift of presenting a terrible subject so succinctly and backing it up with facts. Thank you for never giving up the fight. And I won't. Donna Ainsley, New Bern, North Carolina. I just wanted to thank you for your special coverage of the assassination of Donald Trump, the attempted assassination. I, like so many Americans, are horrified by what happened. We really need to hear from you over the weekend, and we did. And if you did not see that special, it's really worth watching on BillO'Reilly.com, because we came out very, very strong in that special. Okay, I want you to go to BillO'Reilly.com. We live in historic times, and I said, look, we have 4 mugs that document the history of the 2024 election, and these are going to be collector's items. I got them displayed, okay? You got the Stand Up for Your Country mug, Team Normal, all right, unless you're on Team Crazy. I don't think many of you are. A cup of No Joe, our latest, and Not Woke, which is our best-selling mug of all time. You get them all, and we'll give you a big discount on them. If you want them individually, we'll give them to you there, and we keep the prices down, as you know. We are looking at 50,000 advance sale just on BillO'Reilly.com alone for Confronting the President. So we want you to get in with your advance order so you can get the book first. Imagine the volume of sending 50,000 books out. We're going to do it, but there's a list. You pre-order, you get on a list, and as soon as we get them, you'll get them. It's an enormous, I think it's my biggest advance sale ever. Word of the day, no cacophony. Plenty of that around. CACA, PHONY, no cacophony. All right, Jon Stewart and I, looks like we're going to meet up again. Final thought in a moment. By now, you have heard me talk about Delta Rescue. They are a fantastic organization that helps rescue animals from the wilderness. You know I'm a dog lover, so is Leo Grillo, the founder of Delta Rescue. It is his life's mission to provide everlasting care for these once abandoned animals. I myself have donated to Delta Rescue. Do you believe it is part of man's duty to care for dogs and horses, the animals that so much of our history is tied to? If so, please consider making a donation or consult your advisor about leaving a gift in your will or trust. There can be some tax advantages, and it's a great way to help Delta Rescue accomplish their mission. So please visit deltarescue.org to learn more. That's deltarescue.org. You work hard to support yourself and your family, but it may seem like you never take that next financial step forward. If the bills are higher than what you bring in, a credit card might be what's making up the difference for you. The problem is the debt keeps on growing. Well, if you own a home, my friends at American Financing can help you break that cycle. American Financing saves people like you an average of $854 a month. Even better, it costs nothing to find out how much you can save. And if you call American Financing today, you might be able to delay 2 mortgage payments. So start your journey towards being credit card debt-free. Please call 888-462-9557, 888-462-9557, or visit AmericanFinancing.net. All right, here is the final thought. I pledge to you we will have the best political coverage between this day and November vote of anyone in the world. That is my pledge. And I'm backing it up, and you know I am. We have added thousands and thousands and thousands of premium and concierge members on BillO'Reilly.com. So on Wednesday, apparently, at his invitation, I'm going to sit down for an hour with Jon Stewart. Now, you remember, I hope, the rumble in the air-conditioned auditorium in the year 2012 that broke the record at the time for most internet views, crashed the whole system. So I was pleased to hear from Stewart. I saw him a few months ago. He and I have a very interesting relationship. And I don't know really what he wants to talk about, but it doesn't matter to me because we put on a show that was fun to watch, no hate, educational, and both of us made our points. That's how it should be done. So I'm hoping it's done that way on Wednesday. Now, we will tell you either tomorrow or Wednesday how you can see it, where it's going to be. It's going to be on BillO'Reilly.com. But I don't know what the embargo thing is yet, but it's an event. So you're getting the first heads up now. I'm very happy about this. This needs to be done. And Stuart reached out to me. I hate that reached out. It's a cliche. Stuart contacted me. That shows a lot about him. I've always said good things about Stuart, even when I was mocking him for his misguided views. All right. We really appreciate you watching and listening to the No Spin News. 4 million people over the weekend. Boy, I'll tell you, we're moving and we're moving fast. And it's all thanks to you, both on radio and television. We'll see you again tomorrow. Thank you for watching the No Spin News. To watch the full episode anytime on BillO'Reilly.com, please sign up to become a premium or concierge member. Visit BillO'Reilly.com to sign up and start watching today.